You are Zuri Kanumba's stolen baby. The words spill from Mosey Kanumba's cracked lips, loud enough to rattle the IV stand. Oxygen alarm shrieks. Nurses rush in. Adana Chikwema freezes, one hand still adjusting his pillow. Mosey coughs, snatches the mask away, and presses a small brass key into her palm. Fingers shake so hard the key clinks against her wrist. His chest jerks once. Flatline tone slices the room. A nurse tries compressions. Another calls time. Machines dim to standby. Mosey's hand slips off the bed, signet ring flashing under harsh fluorescent light. Security ushers family into the corridor. Reporters hover near the ward doors, phones raised. Dumo Kanumba whispers into a Bluetooth earpiece, eyes flicking toward Adana. She pockets the key, steps back, and wipes a smear of blood off her forearm. No one notices. The hallway crowds with relatives in black. Nurses roll the body away. Outside, dawn paints the coastal sky a muddy gray. A rain cloud hangs over Mawimbi General Hospital. Power hiccups, lights blink. Generators kick in with a groan. Mosey's children cling to Adana when she appears. She squares her shoulders, guides them into the waiting shuttle. They ride in silence to the mansion on Ridgeview Crest. The front gate swallows the convoy. TV vans line the curb. Inside, mourners fill the marble foyer. A gospel choir tests microphones near the staircase. Their cables snake around crystal vases. Adana slips up the back stairs, still in scrubs. Third-floor hallway smells of furniture polish and grief. She stops at a heavy mahogany door. Mosey's private study. The brass key fits. Lock turns with a dull click. Lights flicker again. She pushes inside. Dust motes float through weak ceiling bulbs. Shelves display telecom awards, tower miniatures, framed newspaper covers. Desk drawer sits dead center, keyhole matching the brass pattern exactly. She tries the key. Drawer resists, then slides out. Inside, a cracked leather folder wrapped in plastic, edges water-stained. Label reads Infant Case 17. Half the ink has bled. Thunder rolls outside. Lights blink. Ceiling fan slows to a crawl. She pulls the folder free, snaps phone photos of each fragile page. Some numbers smear across the cracked screen. Footsteps in the corridor. She closes the drawer, locks it, pockets the key again. Door handle jiggles. Dumo's voice seeps through wood. Live stream starts in 5. Are you up here? He calls. Adana clears her throat, shoves the folder under her scrub top, and opens the door a crack. Getting spare candles. The power keeps teasing. He frowns at her uniform. Change. Cameras hate hospital green. He strides off, tapping his phone. She darts down the servant's stairwell. In the laundry room, she wraps the folder in a towel and slides it into her backpack. Generator hum deepens. Rain pelts the roof. Funeral guests crowd the garden despite drizzle. White tents sag under accumulating water. A singer tests a mic. Screeching feedback makes heads turn. Zuri Kanumba appears on the veranda, face composed, voice steady. Thank you for honoring my husband, she says into a cluster of cameras. Her ivory bangle glints under canopy lights. She does not blink. Adana stands near the fence, clutching her pack. A gardener untangles extension cords beside her, muttering about soaked sockets. Sparks jump. He yanks the plug. Inside the main tent, Wi-Fi drops. Reporters wave phones, searching for signal. Dumo curses under his breath, runs to reset a router that refuses to reboot. Adana uses the lull. She slips out the side gate, jeans soaked within seconds. A boda waits at the junction, driver huddled under an oilskin jacket. Old docks, she says. He nods, revs the engine. They splash through potholes, rain drumming helmet shells. At the docks, she ducks into a rusted container, converted into a photocopy kiosk. Neon strip flickers overhead. She pays for 2 duplicate sets of the photos, seals one in a plastic envelope. She sends a text to her schoolmate at the Mawimbi Genetics Lab. Need DNA test ASAP. Can't discuss here. She attaches a photo of the ledger's parent codes. Signal weak. Message circle spins. Bar drops to 0. She curses under her breath. Moves to the doorway, searching for bars. Rain drives sideways, soaking the envelope. Finally, the message sends. She exhales, shakes water off the folder. Night drapes the harbor early during storms. She flags another boda toward her shared apartment above a tailor's shop. The driver's headlight flickers as they weave past stalled minibuses. Halfway home, a police checkpoint slows traffic. Officers wave flashlights, checking random riders. Driver brakes hard, visor fogging. Adana's heart pounds. She hugs the backpack tighter. An officer gestures. Driver pulls to the side. Rain pounds helmets. Officer asks for licenses, then shines light on Adana's bag. Long night, he asks. Funeral shift, she answers, voice steady. She pulls out employee ID, already damp. Officer nods, waves them on. Bike splashes forward. Breath leaves her in a sharp burst. They reach the tailor's building. Power's out here too. She climbs 3 flights by phone light, keying open her door. Room smells of wet fabric and kerosene. She lays the folder on a small desk, unrolls a blue tarpaulin to protect it from leaks. Ceiling drips in one corner. She arranges the photos in order, numbers them with pencil. Clock shows 11:38 p.m. Battery at 9%. She plugs in the phone, charger spark flicks. No electricity. The city grid has failed again. Wind slams shutters. She lights a paraffin lamp. Shadows climb walls. Rain refuses to stop. Her phone buzzes. Message from the lab. Bring physical sample, paperwork needed. We open 6 a.m. Sharp. She checks the time again. Enough for 3 hours of rest. She sets a small plastic vial on the table, unscrews it, swabs in her cheek, seals and labels. Water drips louder. She shifts the tarpaulin to catch new leaks. Lamp flame gutters, then steadies. At 4:45 a.m., she heads out, backpack secured. Street lights blink back to life in patches. A city bus splashes by, sending muddy spray over her shoes. She skirts puddles, reaches the lab building by first light. Guard at the gate sips maize porridge from a mug. She signs a logbook, hands over the vial and the plastic envelope of photos. Receptionist logs the sample, prints a receipt. Printer jams on second copy. She waits while the tech clears mangled paper. Receipt finally printed, she tucks it inside her jacket. Lab tech promises results in 72 hours, storms permitting. She nods, steps outside. Sky still iron gray. She opens an umbrella with a stubborn spring. A sharp gust flips it inside out. She laughs once, short and surprised, and folds it away. Phone buzzes again. Unidentified number. She answers. Silence, then a faint click, then Zuri's measured voice. I need you back at the house by noon. The children refuse breakfast. Adana looks at the flooded street, at taxis spraying sludge, at a city yawning under blackout. She adjusts her backpack. Understood, Shionin, she says. Call ends. She pockets the phone, flags a taxi. The driver quotes a surge fare. She pays without bargaining. Car radio crackles with static. News anchor struggles through poor signal. Telecom pioneer Mosi Kanumba pronounced dead at dawn. Family requests privacy. Signal drops. Radio hisses. Taxi rolls to a stop outside Ridgeview Crest Gate. Reporters still there. Umbrellas dotting the driveway. Security waves her through. Inside, mourners nap in armchairs. Soggy floral wreaths lean against walls. Generator spits smoke near the garage. She climbs servant stairs again. Hallway empty. She enters her tiny quarters, sheds wet jacket, hides the receipt in a shoe lining. Phone chirps once, then dies, battery gone. She plugs it into wall socket. No power upstairs. She changes into dry uniform, straightens head wrap, heads for the kitchen. Children sit at the counter, silent. She warms milk, sets mugs before them, waits until each takes a sip. Zuri steps in. Ivory bangle catches morning gloom. Eyes scan Adana's soaked hairline, linger on the faint bulge of the backpack strap. Thank you for coming, Zuri says, measured tone. The service is at dusk. Adana nods, spoons porridge into bowls, hands them over. She never looks up. Rain beats the roof harder, as if testing its patience. Lights flicker once, twice, then die completely. Generator outside coughs, stalls. Kitchen sinks into dim gray. In the sudden quiet, a phone vibration echoes off tile. Dumo rushes in, screen glowing. Network's back, he says. Press wants a statement now. Zuri straightens her suit jacket. Give me 10 minutes. She leaves the kitchen. Dumo follows, thumbs flying over virtual keys. Door swings shut. Adana wipes the counter, dries her hands, pulls the backpack tight across her shoulders. She glances at the dark window. Rain eases to a whisper. She steps toward the back door. Footsteps return faster than expected. Zuri appears, face unreadable. Stay, Zuri says softly. Family needs you close today. Power surges back. Lights flare. Fridge hums. TV in the lounge snaps on with breaking news music. Adana's gaze drifts to the screen. Headline scrolls. Leaked file suggests illegal adoption in Kanumba household. Zuri sees it too. Remote in hand, she hits mute. Her hand trembles for half a second, then steadies. Who leaked that? Duma whispers, eyes wide at the doorway. Zuri turns the remote over in her fingers, ivory bangle clicking against plastic. She says nothing. Generator outside sputters, threatens to die again. Screen glitches, pixelates, freezes on the headline. Buffering icon spins. Rain stops. Silence hangs. Adana's phone, still upstairs, remains out of battery. The lab can't reach her. The ledger sits hidden in her room, pages drying under a dripping ceiling. The buffering wheel spins on the muted screen, refusing to yield the next line. Wind dies by mid-morning. Humid air hangs over Ridgeview Crest as Adana slips through the service gate. She carries a nylon folder taped against her ribs and a cheap power bank borrowed from the cook. She flags a boda idling beside the hedge. The driver yawns, helmet on the handlebars. She names the orphanage. He raises an eyebrow, shrugs, fires the engine. Road's still slick. They weave past stalled vans, splash through potholes. Her phone finally boots. A flood of alerts scrolls, rumor threads, headline memes, one tagged with her photo and the word extortionist. The bike stops near a row of shuttered buildings. Sunrise Haven sits in the middle, paint peeled, sign dangling by one hinge. Chickens peck at weeds in the yard. She walks to a side gate, finds a padlock rusted shut. A woman folds clothes at a nearby stall under blue tarpaulin. Cataract-clouded eye scans Adana. "Mama Kaguru?" Adana asks. The woman stiffens, folds another shirt. Shop opens noon. No credit. Adana slides the brass key halfway from her pocket. Sun glints on worn grooves. Mama Kaguru's hands stop moving. "Need answers," Adana says. "Not trouble." Mama Kiguru looks toward the street, then back. "Storehouse," she mutters, jerking her chin at a corrugated shed. Inside, dust swirls. Stacks of old mattresses lean against walls. Adana taps record on her phone, screen dimmed. Mama Kaguru notices but says nothing. "I want to confirm entry K17, Adana starts. "Record gone years ago," Mama Kaguru replies, voice flat. "You took payment," Adana says, holding up a photocopy of the ledger line with CK. "Initials. How much this time?" Mama Kiguru's jaw tightens. She reaches into an apron, pulls out a crumpled envelope of cash, pushes it forward. "Take and forget." Adana raises the phone. Flash off, lens steady. "Not for sale." Mama Kiguru curses under breath, snaps the envelope closed. "Then leave before I lose what's left of peace." Adana backs away, still recording, slips out to daylight. She messages Jabari Mwila one file, voice capture, photo of envelope. Upload stalls at 37%, signal weak. She hails a taxi toward Mwimbi Genetics Lab. Driver's radio debates Mosi's legacy, callers arguing over telecom layoffs. Static cracks every few seconds. At the lab, generator thuds behind the building. Technician in scrubs logs her arrival, prints new forms. She hands over the saliva vial and the fresh ledger copy. "Storm backlog," the tech warns. 72 hours minimum. She signs receipt, pockets duplicate. Power flickers, ceiling lights buzz. Technician presses a thumb to the freezer's padlock, secures the sample inside. Outside, sky brightens. She walks to a street kiosk, orders maize porridge, charges phone on a communal socket. Upload to Jabari finishes. He replies with a thumbs-up emoji and 5 fire icons. Screen pings again. Dumo's verified account posts a photo of Adana leaving the hospital, caption, "Gold digger exploiting grief." Comments explode. She deletes the app, pockets phone, boards a matatu heading downtown. Seats smell of diesel and wet cloth. Conductor shouts stops, pushes coins into a battered tin. At City Center, skyscrapers reflect afternoon glare. She crosses to the Royal Meridian Hotel, marble lobby echoing footsteps. Zuri waits at a corner table, 2 teacups steaming. Adana approaches. Zuri stands, straightens her kidding jacket. "Sit, please." Her ivory bangle taps China twice. Waiter hovers. Zuri nods dismissal. He leaves. Zuri slides a sealed envelope across the table. Token of gratitude. 1 year's salary. Sign and we part peacefully. Steam curls from untouched tea. Adana lifts the envelope, heavier than it looks. She sets it back. Zuri's eyes hold steady. "Children adore you. Don't make them collateral." Adana sips tea, bitter on tongue. "They deserve truth." Zuri's pen clicks, rapid staccato. "Truth destroys reforms we built. Think wider." Hotel lights blink once, backup kicks in. Adana folds the unsealed envelope, slips it into her bag. "I'll think." She stands, nods, walks out. Zuri watches, face blank. Outside, humid breeze carries honking horns. Adana heads to a print shop. She buys a manila envelope, shreds the check into thin ribbons, drops the pieces inside, seals it. She walks 2 blocks to Mwimbi Open University. Admin office smells of ink and old paper. Ceiling fan spins lazy circles. Clerk slides a form across counter. Application deadline passed last week. She produces the staff ID from the Kanumba estate. Special circumstance. See Dean's note. She scrawls a brief request, attaches a photocopy of the ledger as supporting material. The clerk raises brows, reads, nods once, stamps late entry. Night program starts Thursday, the clerk says, handing timetable. "No scholarships left." Adana flips coin for registration fee plus a small deposit. Wallet nearly empty now. Clerk types receipt, printer coughs, paper jams. He yanks tray, reprints. She leaves with crumpled receipt. Campus path strewn with jacaranda petals, sticky under shoes. Her phone buzzes, battery at 15%. Lab number flashes. She answers. Technician sounds strained. Freezer power surge. Your sample thawed. Need new vial. She stops walking. Backlog still 72 hours? After you resubmit, yes. She checks watch, calculates transport. I'll return tomorrow. Call ends. She exhales, pockets phone, heads to bus stop. A market hawker waves roasted ground nuts. She declines, last coin spent. Bus ride crawls. Sunset bleeds across windows. She dozes, jerks awake near Ridgeview. Estate gate guards wave her through. Mansion lights blaze, generator repaired. She sneaks to servant wing, places shredded check envelope into incinerator bin, presses ignite. Flames flare, ashes drift. She grabs fresh saliva kit from desk drawer, swabs cheek again, labels tube. She seals it, tapes ledger photocopy around it for redundancy. Lightning flashes outside, thunder distant. She stores vial and thermos packed with ice cubes from kitchen freezer. Thermos rattles. Footsteps in hallway. Dumo appears, phone camera aimed. Care to address rumors? Thermos hidden behind skirt, she answers. Not now. He tracks her face, scanning for weakness. She steps sideways, forces a smile, moves past him toward staircase. Upstairs, she hides the thermos beneath laundry basket. She scrolls messages. Jabari's latest upload, audio of Mama Kaguru's attempted bribe. Comments already split between outrage and conspiracy. She types thanks, phone dies mid-sentence. Rain starts again, soft. Generator growls, then cuts. Mansion slides into darkness. Children call out. She grabs flashlight, guides them to their rooms, lights battery lanterns. Midnight. Power still gone. She slips outside, backpack on, thermos secure. She heads for gate when security guard waves flashlight. Curfew in effect. City orders. No exit. She nods, returns to servant quarters, places thermos inside a large cooking pot with crushed ice, hoping it holds. She sets alarm for 4 a.m., curls on cot fully dressed. Distant thunder rolls. Alarm buzzes. She rises, retrieves thermos. Ice half melted but sample intact. She tiptoes past sleeping guards, climbs over sidewall using stacked crates. Dress snags, tears at seam. Street empty, curfew patrol down the block. She darts behind hedges, waits. Patrol moves on. She jogs to junction, flags lone boda. Driver hesitates at curfew risk. She doubles fare. He nods. They speed toward the lab, engine sputtering on steep hill. Halfway up, chain slips, bike stalls. Driver curses. She jumps off, pays, runs the rest. Shoes slap wet pavement. Dawn light creeps. She reaches lab gate panting. Guard recognizes her, unlocks. Inside, technician yawns at reception. Maher. First in line, he says. She hands thermos. Ice water drips on counter. Technician logs new entry. Locks sample in a portable cooler with fresh battery backup. Adana signs, glances at clock 6:02 a.m. She turns to leave. Guard holds radio, static hissing. Big trouble at Ridgeview, he tells the technician. Police headed there now. Adana stops. Why, we're not clear. Something about missing documents. She grips the ledger copy in her bag. Heart thuds. She thanks them, steps outside. Sirens wail faint in distance, closing fast toward Ridgeview. She looks at the road, then at the city skyline waking under storm clouds. Decision hangs. Sirens grow louder. Sirens cut through dawn haze as Adana backs against the lab gate. Patrol trucks race toward Ridgeview, lights strobing. She checks the street, no taxi in sight. Decision made, she flags a passing delivery van, flashes her Kanumba staff badge, and climbs in. The driver eyes her soaked dress. More drama up there? Looks like it. They reach Ridgeview in minutes. Police cars clog the driveway. Officers comb the garden. Dumo waves a report sheet shouting theft. Zuri stands on the veranda, arms folded, face stone. Adana slips through a side path to the servant wing. Her room door hangs open, mattress flipped, drawers dumped. Ledger pages gone. Only damp footprints remain. A detective spots her. Your name? Adana Chikwema. You live here? We have a complaint of stolen property. She nods. Search finished? I need fresh clothes. He glances at his notepad, shrugs approval. She steps inside, finds the shredded check ash scattered beside the incinerator bin. Whoever searched forgot the ashes. She sweeps them into a pouch. Downstairs, Zuri intercepts her. Police say ledger missing. Adana keeps voice flat. I thought it stayed in the drawer. It did. Zuri pauses, lowers tone. If someone planted it online, damage will be irreversible. Adana walks past without reply, gathers the children for breakfast. Officers finish questions, leave with empty hands. Zuri orders lockdown, gates sealed until evening. Night falls. News cycle shifts to a factory fire across town. Ridgeview calms. Adana sends a silent thanks to the lab cooler. Months roll. Funeral over, estate lawyers settle assets. Adana studies every night after chores. Candle on borrowed textbooks. She copies statute sections onto flashcards while the children sleep. 2 months in, power cuts force classes outdoors under streetlights. She trades weekend nanny shifts for tuition. Preferring. When no warrant, Savannah Ettoro notices her in the back row, offers a research assistant slot. Pay small, knowledge huge. Mama Kaguru's stall burns in a short-circuit accident. Insurance denies claim. She relocates to a cousin's veranda, sells boiled maize. Jabari's channel airs a segment hinting at Sunrise Haven irregularities. Views spike. 6 months pass. Ridgeview hires a new au pair. Adana resigns politely, leaves the children handmade storybooks. Zuri nods once, no hug, no goodbye party. Adana moves into a dorm room the size of a pantry. Roof leaks but rent cheap. She starts attending legal clinics, drafts briefs for trafficking survivors, learns courtroom filing routines. 9 months gone. Mawimbi legislature schedules the first child trafficking forum. Professor Ettoro nets a speaking slot, brings Adana as assistant. Conference hall seats 500, media passes dangling from necks. Morning of the forum, Jabari messages a file. Second DNA report, 19.8 match between Zuri and infant K-17. He plans to drop it mid-session. Adana thumbs a quick reply. Verify lab chain first. Jabari sends thumbs up and a ticking clock gif. Forum opens with traditional drummers, then experts parade slides. At 11:07 a.m., Professor Ettoro steps up, nods to Adana, who loads a presentation on a temperamental projector. Cable sparks once but holds. Mid-speech, phones ping across the hall. Jabari's video goes live. Side-by-side images of the DNA sheet and a birth photo from the ledger. Caption, Chief Magistrate linked to illegal adoption. Gasps ripple, cameras swing toward Adana on stage. She steadies the laptop, continues advancing proof. Ettoro slides. 2 delegates stand, argue whether to adjourn. Moderator bangs gavel, fails to calm room. Outside, journalists cluster at exits. Dumo appears on television feed within minutes, calls the report fabricated. His voice cracks under barrage of questions. By 1 p.m., Zuri's legal team files an injunction to freeze all media distribution. Court clerk announces hearing next morning. Preferred Suriname, Ettoro pulls Adana aside. You must file a counter petition before close of business. Adana checks watch, 3:42 p.m. Bureau building sits across town, traffic jam notorious. She grabs her bag, sprints outside. Taxi queue snakes around the block. She hops onto a bicycle courier preparing deliveries. He hesitates. She offers her last C50 note. Courier whistles, pedals hard. They weave through buses, nearly clip a side mirror. A goat wanders into the road. Brakes squeal, back wheel skids. Adana nearly tumbles, clings to the frame. They recover, push on. At 4:26 p.m., they reach the high bench complex. Security scanner line crawls. Machines beep, trays jam with laptops. She removes belt, shoes, slides papers into bin. Guard waves wand twice, finally clears her. Clerk's window closes at 5 sharp. Inside, only 2 counters open. Queues ragged. Air conditioner wheezes. Clock ticks loud. She fills Form 27A, attaches ledger photocopies, DNA summary, affidavit from lab. Pen ink runs low. She shakes it, scribbles circles, finishes signature. 4:57 p.m. She reaches counter. Clerk counts pages. Notices an unstamped exhibit. He points to the certification desk. She rushes there. Civil servant stamps, red seal, ink pad dry. She presses harder, seal half visible. The official waves her off. 4:59 p.m. Back at counter, clerk slides papers into docket tray, stamps received in bold. Time mark 5, what exactly? Windows slam shut behind. Outside, evening sky glows orange. She pays courier extra for the borrowed ride. He salutes, pedals away. Phone battery at 9%. Jabari calls. Live stream crashed my site. Need comment. Petition filed, she says, voice hoarse. Share docket number only after clerk uploads. He cheers, promises caution. Call drops. She walks to campus, legs heavy. Library still open. She emails Professor Ettoro a scan of the receipt. Computer stalls. Progress bar creeps. At 23%, power blips, screens flicker. Backup generator lags 5 seconds. Machines reboot. Upload lost. Librarian wants to close. Adana snaps photo of receipt instead. Texts it to Professor. Itoro. Message sends. Relief. She buys Koki wrap from a vendor, packing up. Seller throws in extra pepper, winks. She bites, spices sting. Dorm corridor lit by single bulb. Rain starts again, steady tap on metal roof. She sits at desk, spreads new textbooks, but phone buzzes nonstop. Unknown numbers, some threats, some praise. She silences device, powers it off. Lightning flashes, internet rotor clicks off, on. She writes note cards for tomorrow's hearing. Dawn arrives sticky. She dresses in borrowed blazer, walks to courthouse with Professor Itoro. Protest lines already formed. One side holds banners reading Protect the Magistrate. Other waves placards with K-17 Truth. Police funnel crowds behind barriers. Reporters jostle at steps. Adana and Itoro slip through staff entrance. Inside, courtroom hums low. Zuri sits at defense table, eyes forward. Ivory Bengal absent. Her lawyers whisper, shuffle folders. Judge enters. Proceedings start. Zuri's team argues for injunction, cites forged evidence. Adana's turn. She passes ledger copy, DNA chain, hushed courtroom waits. Judge notes contention, schedules full evidentiary hearing in 30 days, denies gag order on public interest grounds. Murmurs swell, bailiffs tap benches for silence. Outside press swarm Adana. She raises palm. Documents speak. See you in 30 days. She pushes through, meets Jabari across the street. He hands her a small flash drive. Raw footage from Mama Kiguru. She's ready for formal statement. Rain thickens, umbrellas bloom. Traffic horns drown voices. Back at dorm, she downloads footage. Mama Kiguru, filmed at night, admits payment details, names a third-party courier who fetched baby. Timestamp 2 weeks old. Thunder cracks. Power flickers but holds. File copies to secure cloud. Phone buzzes with unknown caller. She answers. Static, then Zuri's calm voice. You started a fire you can't contain. Adana listens. Rain drums window. Zuri continues. I offered peace. Now the council will bury you in procedure. Line clicks dead. Adana exhales, looks at the flash drive, the ledger, the court receipt. Outside, protesters chant in the rain. The 30-day clock has begun. Cell phone alarms buzz at 5 a.m. Across Mawimbi. Adana wakes in the dorm, downs cold water, and zips a navy suit borrowed from a classmate. Outside, rain clouds hide sunrise. She meets Professor Itoro at the courthouse gate by 6. Protest barriers already in place. Some signs read Restore Zuri, others flash K-17 equals truth. Police hand out clear goggles in case of tear gas. Security adds a new layer. Handheld metal scanner plus badge verification. Q crawls. Adana's ID barcode fails on first swipe. Second scan beeps green. Inside at last. Court tech crew tests the live stream. The main camera freezes, shows pink lines across the feed. Technician smacks the side, screen clears. He mutters about cheap cables. Zuri enters through the judge's corridor, flanked by 2 lawyers. She carries a thin folder, no jewelry. Her gaze passes over Adana like glass over water. 9 a.m. Judge Follerin takes the bench, gavel taps once. Clerk reads the matter. Public gallery silent except for phone shutters. Judge warns, maintain order or I clear the room. Adana calls her first witness, Mama Kiguru. Bailiff checks hallway, returns empty-handed. Whisper ripples. Judge raises an eyebrow. 5 minutes feel like 5 hours. Door finally opens. Mama Kiguru walks in, limp heavier, floral dress damp. She clutches a walking stick. Bailiff administers oath. Adana starts gently. You managed Sunrise Haven from 1991 to 2015? Yes. Adana shows photocopy of payment ledger. Recognize this? Kiguru nods once. Who authorized the payment on line 42? Kiguru glances at Zuri, then the judge. Voice barely audible. Anazi. Kanumba. Defense objects. Speculation. Judge allows answer. Notes wait for later. Livestream chat explodes. Hashtag line 42 streaks across thousands of screens. Adana asks about infant K-17. Kiguru wipes brow. Delivered to private vehicle. Night pickup. Papers destroyed next morning. Defense rises again. No corroboration. Judge marks objection. Allows testimony conditionally. Adana opens flash drive on evidence monitor. Video plays Kiguru admitting bribe. Audio crackles halfway, skips 3 seconds due to file glitch. Court tech tries to stabilize. Video resumes, shows Kiguru saying, she paid us. Words land hard. Zuri's lawyer demands chain of custody proof for the recording. Judge requests timestamp metadata. Court clerk prints log from Jabari's cloud server. Printer jams. Bailiff pulls out crumpled paper, tries again. Second copy legible. Defense presses for recess to examine authenticity. Judge denies, grants 10-minute refresh only. Gallery fills hallway, phones out. During break, a junior clerk whispers to Adana, power company warns of rolling outage at noon. She alerts tech crew. They wheel in a backup battery pack sized like a suitcase. Session resumes. Adana introduces DNA report, lab technician sworn in via video link. Connection buffers pixelates. Technician repeats chain steps twice before audio stabilizes. Defense tries to discredit sample storage. Cites first freezer failure. Technician confirms second sample stored in triple battery cooler. Judge accepts report provisionally. Noon approaches. Storm outside shakes windows. Lights flicker. Backup battery whistles, kicks in. Livestream continues, but comments lag. Defense calls Dumo as rebuttal witness. He struts the stand, pastel suit bright under fluorescent lights. Swears oath, claims Adana blackmailed the family. Adana cross-examines. Any proof? Dumo pulls printed screenshots of alleged payment request. Judge inspects, notes no timestamp, no signature. Dumo sweats, loosens collar. Adana asks, did you alter these images? Dumo stalls, eyes dart. Judge orders direct answer. Dumo sighs, I enhance clarity. Gallery laughs, bailiff quiets crowd. Adana presents original chat log from her phone, authenticated by service provider. Shows no request for money. Dumo's credibility drops to dust. Judge invites final statements. Defense argues reputation. Public good served by Zuri's reforms. Adana counters with duty of law to stand above image. Judge recesses for counsel consultation. Panel of 7 magistrates files out. Gallery buzz returns. Mama Kiguru sits alone, hands trembling. 30 minutes later, counsel returns. Judge reads decision. Pending full trial, Magistrate Zuri Kanumba is suspended effective immediately. Counsel vote 4-3. Gasps, then a mixture of cheers and boos. Zuri closes her eyes once, opens them. Bailiff does not cuff her, but asks for her court ID and robe. She hands them over without shake. Outside skies open. Protest lines break. Some celebrate. Others shove barriers. Police deploy tear gas. White clouds roll over courthouse steps. Screams echo. Inside lobby, fire alarm misfires from gas seeping through vents. Metal shutters begin to drop automatically, trapping groups inside corridors. Adana grabs Mama Kaguru's arm, leads her towards staff exit. Door jammed half down. They crouch, slip under, reach alley. Rain and tear gas mingle, sting eyes. Jabari appears, camera wrapped in plastic, coughing. We're live, he says, voice rough. Adana waves him back. Gas cloud drifts closer. Across the street, a black SUV screeches curbside. Dumo at wheel, mouths an insult, speeds off. Police siren screams. A canister lands near court generator, sparks. Small fire ignites, licking fuel line. Officer yells for extinguishers, but wind feeds flame. Professor Turmekinowa. Itoro dials emergency services. Phone slides from her grip. Screen cracking on pavement. She picks it up, dials again. Adana pushes Kiguru toward an ambulance staging zone. Paramedic checks blood pressure. Asks if witness protection needed. Kiguru nods weakly. Paramedic guides her inside. Door shuts. Ambulance pulls away just as another gas volley flies overhead. Jabari shouts, feed crashed. Need new angle. He climbs police barricade for better signal. Adana turns back toward courthouse. Zuri stands under awning, rain plastering hair to face. She meets Adana's eyes across swirling gas and fire trucks. Zuri lifts chin, mouths words lost in noise. 2 plainclothes officers usher her into an unmarked sedan. Car merges into chaos, disappears. Fire crew tames generator blaze. Alarm silences. Rain dents puddles. Tear gas thins. Adana checks phone. Battery at 3%. 1 new message from lab. Secondary witness ready. Handwriting match complete. Screen dims, dies. She pockets it, pulls blazer tight, surveys wet streets littered with broken placards. Sirens recede. Protesters disperse under police orders. Professor Itro approaches with umbrella frame bent and useless. Counsel's decision loud, she says. Tomorrow will be louder. Adana nods. Gas residue burns her throat. She glances at courthouse entrance. Metal shutters half open, smoke still curling. The fight is not over. Wind shifts. A single banner flaps on fence. Letters smeared by rain but readable. We stand with K-17. Rain taps iron roof of the committee annex as Adana steps off the lift. 2 months have passed since the suspension vote. The building once bustled with legal clerks. Today, only security and auditors roam the hall. She carries a thin binder, Corners dog-eared from nightly revisions. Plain folder, no firm logo, no family crest. It holds draft bylaws for the Child Recovery Fund. Guard checks her name on a handwritten list. Pen smudges, but he waves her through. Inside, the chamber smells of fresh paint and cold coffee. 7 council members sit at a horseshoe table. Reporters banned this time. Instead, 2 stenographers type nonstop. Fluorescent lights hum overhead. Zuri sits opposite. No lawyers today. Prison transport left her cuffs at the door, yet 2 officers stand by the wall. She wears a simple gray dress, hair loose. Council chair greets both parties, voice clipped. Purpose: consider settlement terms and institutional remedy. Gavel taps wood. First agenda item, financial audit. A junior accountant presents spreadsheets on an aging projector. Figures jitter as the bulb flickers. He outlines misused orphanage funds, silent on audience reaction. Chair turns to Zuri. Do you concede the transfers? Zuri folds hands. Yes, sir, no quiver, just fatigue. Officers make no move. Admission alone does not end proceedings. Next agenda, restorative proposal. Adana rises, opens binder, and hands copies to each member. Pages slide across polished wood, faint hiss filling the pause. Fund aims to locate undocumented adoptees, she says, voice steady. Budget seated by assets relinquished here. She gestures to Zuri. A member interrupts. And governance? Adana nods toward Professor Itoro in the corner. 3-member board, independent auditor, academic representative, and survivor chair. We have candidates pending vetting. Chair scans the bylaws, points at clause 9. Donor matching contingent on clean audit. Are donors still on hold? Yes, Adana replies. They want council endorsement first. Electricity stutters. Lights dim, surge back. Everyone blinks. Technician at rear room fiddles with breaker panel. Council moves to final point. Personal accountability. Prosecutor reads prepared statement. Maximum custodial sentence 2 years. Convertible to supervised service if full restitution paid. Zuri stands. Her voice lower than before suspension, yet clear. I transfer entire personal estate to the fund. She slides notarized deed packet across the table. Stamp ink still wet. Prosecutor confirms receipt, hands it to clerk. Clerk stamps again, seal crisp and loud. Zuri exhales, shoulders drop a notch. Chair asks Adana, do you object to reduced sentence in light of restitution? No. She closes binder, hands flat. Public interest best served by forward work, not extended trial. A murmur runs through council. They recess for closed discussion. Bailiff escorts parties to side rooms stocked with stale biscuits and weak tea. Clock ticks. Rain intensifies, drumming metal roof so hard voices must rise. Professor Nexur Dictum. Itoro reviews bylaws one more time, tweaks a date, hands pen to Adana who signs quickly. Door opens. Bailiff calls them back. Counsel files in, faces unreadable. Chair clears throat. Decision, court accepts restitution package. Zuri Kanumba, barred from judicial office for life, will serve 2 years restorative service under supervision of the new fund. Sentence starts immediately. Gavel strikes. Echo lingers. Zuri nods once, meets Adana's eyes. Officers guide her to sign service contract. She picks pen, pauses, then writes fluidly across dotted line. Wrist does not shake. Contract signed, she places pen down, steps aside. Officer cuffs her lightly, leads her toward exit. No dramatic walk. Just measured steps past the fund's first chair. Adana watches until the corridor swallows them. Chair beckons her. Paperwork for fund registration ready. You assume acting chair by noon. She accepts bundle, weighs heavier than expected. Council disperses, stenographers print transcripts for archive. Printer jams, a sheet rips, clerk sighs, reloads. Outside, lobby fills with journalists hungry for leaks. Security blocks door glass with temporary blinds. Still, flashes pop through cracks. Adana exits via loading dock. Jabari waits near recycling bins, camera in hand, lens covered against drizzle. Outcome? Fund approved, Zuri serving restorative term, she answers. He raises brows, surprised by calm tone. Statement at Town Hall 6 tonight, she adds. He flips the microphone off. Donors? Depends on audit. She climbs into his hatchback, seats cluttered with cables. He drives toward campus. Traffic thick near harbor. A container truck jackknifed earlier. Cars crawl. Radio announcer speculates about council decision, though nothing official yet. They reach the university. Professor Curie, Echinonamans. Itoro, already in auditorium arranging folding chairs. Student volunteers tape handwritten signs. Transparency starts here. One sign falls repeatedly. Tape refuses to stick to damp wall. Adana helps retape, presses extra strip. Sign holds on third try. 4 p.m. Email pings. First donor confirms conditional pledge if audited by certified firm within 90 days. Good start, but spreadsheet still thin. She drafts press release on borrowed laptop. Keyboard missing V key. She substitutes paste command, fixes later. Printer low on toner, letters fade but legible. 6 sharp town hall live stream goes up on a single smartphone mounted to tripod. Buffer circle appears, network lag. Jabari reboots hotspot, connection stabilizes. Seats half full, rain keeps many away, but online viewership climbs fast. Adana steps to podium, lights harsh. Generator hum below stage. She outlines fund structure, explains audit, lists hotline for adoptees. Applause scattered, genuine. Questions begin. First parent asks, what about children already abroad? Adana notes diplomatic steps, honest about hurdles. Second asks, will donors trust after this scandal? She answers with audit plan, invites watchdog groups. A third question from retired judge. Why no prison for Zuri? Room quiets. Adana grips podium edge. Justice repairs, she says. Revenge displays. We chose repair. Silence, then tentative applause growing louder. Rain shifts to drizzle. Town hall ends. Volunteers stack chairs. Adana checks phone. Voicemail from the children at Ridgeview. Their new au pair helped them send group message. She steps outside, listens. Young voices say they watched the stream. They're proud. Her hands tighten on the phone. Streetlight flickers. Dumo leans against a parked coupe across the road, arms folded. He crosses, offers envelope. Nonprofit needs branding. Call me. She pockets envelope without agreeing. He walks off humming, shoes kicking puddles. No allies forever, only shifting deals. Next morning, audit firm enters former Kanumba offices. Files piled high, some boxes damp from roof leak, no one fixed during legal chaos. Auditors photograph mold spots, note possible data loss. Adana arrives with thermos of strong coffee, helps sort folders. Finds her own nanny contract among them, dog-eared. She places it in a keep box for archive. Midday donor liaison visits. She tours cramped office, now serving as fund headquarters. Paint flakes, desk wobbles. Liaison raises eyebrow. Adana smiles. Every great case starts with a file room. Liaison laughs, signs provisional grant memo. Afternoon news alert. Group of protesters outside High Court claim conspiracy, waving Restore Zuri banners. Countergroup chants K-17 truth across street. Police hold line. Adana shuts laptop, walks to window. She sees beyond banners to a city bus painted with fun hotline. Small but rolling. Phone rings. It's Zuri from Service Center Workshop, allowed one supervised call. She reports progress cataloging orphanage records. Her tone even, almost clinical. Some entries intact, Zuri says. I flagged 5 likely matches to trafficked cases. Send copies to audit team, Adana replies. Short pause. Neither mentions shared blood. Call ends. Adana turns back to stacks of paperwork. Wind blows through cracked pane, scatters loose pages. She gathers them, clips stack, places on desk. Evening pushes orange light across office. Jabari's latest video plays on silent screen. Montage of the journey, closing with graphic reading, Justice Unfinished. Adana locks cabinet, checks security alarm, steps into hallway. Motion sensor activates dim bulbs. She walks out front door, pulls shutter, snaps padlock shut. Street now quiet. Only distant horns and waves against breakwater carry through humid air. She heads toward bus stop, binder underarm. Neon sign above a food stall blinks Koki Wraps 24H. She buys 1 extra pepper. Vendor recognizes her from news, nods respect. She thanks him, boards bus. Inside, a toddler fusses in mother's lap. Adana distracts the child with the binder's shiny clasp. Toddler laughs, grabs it, lets go. Mother smiles tired gratitude. Bus rumbles along seafront. Airport lights blink on horizon. Planes taxi, people arrive or leave, lives crossing. Adana looks at city skyline. Notes 1 skyscraper still dark where Zenith Call logo once glowed. She closes eyes for a second, opens them to reflecting glass. Tomorrow audit team returns, hotline opens, donors watch. Nothing settled, everything begun. Bus breaks at campus. She steps off, night air thick with salt. Phone vibrates. A new case file emailed from unknown sender. Subject line infant D04. She downloads attachment while walking, screen glow lighting path. Document opens, half redacted, date from same year as her ledger. She pockets phone, pace quickens toward dorm lights. Work waits, and the line is long.